So, you've clicked on this video because you're searching for help on this solo raid. So let's not waste any more time and let's get into it. First, I'll go over the boss moveset, how to stun him, and then I'll go over some teams and alternatives, and lastly in the end I'll include my full run, so if you wanna see that, stick around, but let's get into it. Okay, so first off, you'll have the left, right. He's gonna hit left arm, right arm, and look at the damage, a lot of damage. So unless you got a very good healer, you want to hide before each hit. He does that quite a bit actually, that move, so you'll have to do it multiple times during the battle. But when you hide, you take no damage basically. But be careful of rocket launcher users because they tend to like not hide in time for some reason, so they tend to take damage. And now look at this arm right here. He'll do that, and then you just gotta be ready for it because it's literally like half a second, maybe a second, something like that, before he pops up that move. So you gotta be quick with it. Otherwise, he will launch this projectile that does 2 instances of damage that goes through barrier right here. So when I didn't do it, didn't break it, I took like half damage on each character, right? Half HP. So you definitely want to make sure that you hit that thing. It's pretty easy to break, so you just basically gotta hit it and then it will stun him, so he doesn't hit you. So now when you gotta be ready, he's gonna go right, then left, then center, and then he will have that arm glow, so you just gotta click on it, you know what I mean? And then he's gonna fire these projectiles. Some of them you cannot break, so you just gotta tank him or hide through him if if you're taking too much damage. And now he goes with these arms. They start glowing. You just gotta break those arms. Same thing. You gotta hit one arm, the other arm, and then it will stun him. And if you don't break these arms, he'll do damage through barrier again, so you cannot hide from it, to the middle unit. And then he goes into this one with the four breakable parts, 2 on the shoulder and 2 legs, so you just gotta break those, and then it will stun him again. And now let's see what that looks like if you don't break it. You have the 4 parts, and then boom, almost killed me right there, almost killed me. So it's very important to just break those. You just they're pretty easy to break, so you just break them, and then he'll get stunned. And then you see those missiles, they're breakable, and these are not breakable. So there's some missiles you can intercept basically, and some they'll hit you no matter what. But in general, it's typically not needed to shoot them down. You should be fine just tanking them, and then be ready for this other arm move again. It's easy to miss it, right? Sometimes you're not expecting that arm to start glowing again, and it's very quick. So if you're not ready for it, right, he would just send that thing and probably kill you with it. You get those arms, you get the 4 ones again, just break him again, stun him, and then right around here, around that 1 minute 15 second mark, he'll go into his like ultimate move. He do this thing, he does a little bit of damage with that slam, and then goes into the air and has these 6 breakable parts that you have to break in time before he does his ultimate. So here I'm not going to break him, just to demonstrate what happens when you don't break those parts. And they can be pretty difficult to break with some characters, so it is what it is. But it basically one-shots you here if you don't break him, and your run is over. So it's very important to make sure that you break all those parts. So right here he'll do the slam again, does a little bit of damage, and then goes into the air to break these parts. The middle character takes damage through shield or through cover, so whether you cover or not, still takes damage. So you want to make sure that the middle unit has at least like half HP or so. And then after you break those parts, he gets stunned. And then right here, pay attention to the arm immediately after the ultimate. he will do that arm thing, and then it's basically the home stretch. He just keeps doing the same moves. You know, you get the left, right, then he's gonna do the arm thing again. At some point, he does it twice, and you get the arms here, break him. Get the arm again, make sure to break that, and then he's stunned again. We got 15 seconds on the clock. Left, right. I'm not even gonna cover because my units are full HP, so I'm doing more damage now. Just focusing on the damage, and that's pretty much it. And we did it. Now for the teams. So first off, we have the electric team, right? There isn't really that many dedicated iron units to form another team that is not electro, so we just go with this. But I mean, this is pretty much a premium team, right? We have a limited call-up character, we have another limited character, and another one, you know, from summer event. Then we have Rouge, and then we have obviously her, right? So you might not have all these units, and also this is a healer-less composition. So here you might want to use maybe Blanc instead of Marie. So it's just there's not a lot of play with this team. So just use what you have basically. And then for the other one, this is the shotgun team, right? This is the meta shotgun team. You have obviously Blanc here in Noir, and then Tove, Bunny Soda, and Treasure Drake. Now you might not have all these units, you might not maybe have Treasure Drake. So instead maybe you would want to use, you know, you could use maybe Leona here instead of Blanc, right? And then use Blanc maybe in this team right here. So if you're using maybe Leona here, then you know maybe you still use Noir here, maybe not, maybe you don't have Noir or something like that. So you might want to use Naga here, right? She could also work in this team. And if you're not, maybe you're not using Anise in the other team, you could put her here as well. She'll work here. You can use Privity, Maid Privity, and alternatively you can use Viper if you have her Treasure. But remember that Treasure Viper is a re-enter burst 2 unit, so you'll use her with Leona or with another B2 unit. Now you wouldn't use Blanc here without Noir because Blanc has a 60 second cooldown on her burst unless you use a 777 unit, right? That's why she works. That's why Blanc works in this team, because Rouge is from 777, right? So any of these 3 units, Blanc has to be with either Noir or Rouge, otherwise she does not work. So then moving on to the next team, we have a healer-less team that I'm using. It's Crown with Maid Must, with Eve, Rappy Red Hood, and Little Mermaid. Now this is a hard team to play with because it's a lot of RNG and you die a lot. It's very easy to die. You have to play perfectly not to take any damage. So it's a difficult team to play, but you can switch out. For example, switch out Mast and put in Helm, right? Now this immediately gets better, right? You have a healer. You can alternatively, if you need the heal, switch instead of bursting with Eve, burst with Helm. Right now you're gonna do a lot less damage, but less damage is better than just dying, right? So sometimes you might need to do that. And as you will notice in my later run that in my other team I actually do have to burst with Helm sometimes. Now the other thing you could do is basically put the mates together if you have them, right? You have Anchor here. Now they will be able to heal. Anchor heals, right? So this will be a more comfortable team. So this is not a bad team to use if you have these 2. Now for the 4th team, we have the Raven team, and I'm using both Mihara and Raven because they're both dot characters, and I'm using them with a character that buffs dots. So we have Summer Rosanna. She is pretty much essential to this composition, right? And so if we're running Rosanna, then we're running with Raven and Mihara, or at least with Raven, maybe not Mihara. Sometimes you can maybe use Red Hood here, for example, right? You could use Red Hood with Raven. You can even, I mean, this team is pretty much flexible, right? The only not flexible characters in this team are basically Rosanna and Raven. The leader even is not really that important here, but is very welcome because of that CDR and that extra defensive abilities. But you can get away with using another unit here. And so for this team, I'm using the two dots, the two dot characters, and again, like I said before, this is one of the teams that I will actually have to burst with Helm sometimes in order to keep the team alive, right? And the good thing about both of these characters is that they do about the same damage on burst as they do off burst. So even though I will be bursting with Helm, sometimes it doesn't even matter who I'm stealing the burst from, whether it's Mihara or Raven. The good thing is that they will keep doing a lot of damage despite that. So that's why this is quite a nice team. And then Raven, with her being a rocket launcher, she has quite a bit of AoE and is able to break those parts. Sometimes you don't even have to aim for him, she will just break him by AoE. And that's kind of the same thing as Rappi. She has a lot of AoE. You don't really have to aim for these parts when she's in burst. She'll just destroy them automatically. So Raven is obviously going to be very important for this raid. So if you're planning on doing decently in this raid, I'd recommend pulling her. She's still on banner today, so pick her up. She's a very good character. And then moving on to the last team, we have, this is basically the fourth team, right? So this basically has the scraps, so to speak. But obviously these two units are pretty good still, and we have Grave here with the Killer Wife and Naga for the healing. Now Naga herself is a pretty good healer, so she has enough healing to do this. As you saw in the moveset review that we did, right? None of my units really died unless I tried to make him die just to demonstrate the moves. So she will be sufficient. But other than that, there's not much of a selection for DPSs, like I said. And then for B2s, we basically have Helm, Aquamarine. If you have her, she is a limited summer unit, so a lot of you might not have her. But if you do, she is usable as well. Another unit that could be used for healing if you don't have a healer that you can put in here is Marciana right here. She's a decent healer. However, she doesn't really provide any buffs to the team, but she is usable in this team. So I do recommend using her if you don't have any other units. Now, other than that, we're running out of B2s, so that's pretty much it for the B2s. You can use Dala if you have her. She's a wind character, but she heals as well. And then for B1s, you can use Tia here. For example, if you don't have Grave, you can use Tia, for example. Now Tia re-enters burst 1, so you need another B1 with her anyway. So it would be, for example, Tia, D, and then Naga with Tia. They work well together. That provides a lot of survivability. Other than that, you have obviously not a lot of selection here. If you have Mary can be used for healing as a B1. She's a good healer. Will suffice for this solo raid. Now another unit that you can use is Alice right here. Now Alice re-enters burst 1 as well. This is Alice Bunny, right? She heals. You could put her in this team, or you could even put her in the shotgun team, right? That was pretty much the team for shotguns several months ago, when you would put Alice with Tove, Leona, and then two shotgun DPSs on the end. So you could use her in either this team or your some other team that you want, right? For healing, that needs healing. Now a couple other B1 units that you could use. Treasure Miranda, she could be used in teams. You could put her with Eve, for example, for that crit rate bonus. You could put her with Snow White if you're using her as well. She wants that crit rate in order to hit that nuke on the boss, so she's a good pick for Snow White if you have those two units invested. Another one is, for example, Nikke. She could be used. She has a little bit of CDR and is an alright pick if you don't have any other meta units. You can also use Volume. Volume is basically kind of like Miranda, just a little bit worse, and has a little bit of CDR. So she is viable as well, but none of these units heal, so you still need a healer for that team if you end up using those units. But that's about it for the units. If you don't have the units that I was talking about, then it's pretty much down to just Frankensteining your teams, right? And just doing the best that you could do. Now take a look at my full run of solo raid. Like, comment and subscribe. Good luck on your runs, and I'll see you next time.
Ensuring victory for their subjects is a king's duty. Do what damage is possible.
Keep going underground water.
It looks like I've won this game.
Just a second, Junie. I just got hit. It felt good. All enjoy this together. I'm getting more and more excited. Just a second, Junie. All enjoy this together. I'm getting more and more excited.
Right there. With this, we're one step closer to our dream.
Let's go full power. Let's finish this.